welcome to a special edition of the Swemp Electronics Football Alliance Division 2 Swedish Cup. Just 3 games on tonight, so it's been played reasonably quickly after the last round of league games. I'm here with CM Fortuna. Good evening.
Great to be back. Good evening.
And 3 games ahead. The game that will be obviously played last, the massive one between 76ers and Rugby FC. We've got Los Urracas versus Fairton and Stackington versus Deafors. We're going to definitely start off today with the Los Urracas game. So we change over and they're up here. Now, Dan Hazard has gone for a very attacking formation here. What do you think of that?
Yeah, we saw the tactical switch towards the end of the last match, I think. So it'll be interesting to see if it pays dividends against the lower league team. But I like having Robert and Agahauer on the wings. I think they're dangerous. Arnold Bruggink's a attacking midfielder who's always good for a goal. The only thing that's a little bit negative is Alan Smith if he replicates his Newcastle goal scoring form in up front.
Yeah, making his club debut today. Ian Hart on the bench, both the Leeds players there. Obviously, looking at the Newcastle players in the lineup: Smith, Shearer, Robert, Bowyer, Johnson, Woodgate. There's more than the suggested 5. Let's see how they can get on today. And they're up against an opposition side who, Fairton, their cup run so far, well, it's all non-leagues apart from the Atletico New Mills game, which was obviously done before the money had come into the clubs. So let's get straight into the action. Obviously, last match for Los Urracas, they took a big beating from the Blues. None of the teams in the cup today are on a good run of form at all, and so we'll look forward to seeing how they can get on. Smith and Hart squad numbers. And we'll get straight into the game. We're going to watch it from this view because it's only this team that counts for our league. Off we go. And a couple of attacks already. Lauren Robert heavily involved at the moment. It's gone a little bit quiet, but Shearer is involved now. And Alan Smith, Brugging, Bowyer off target. Plenty of chances. They're looking like they're absolutely battering the Fairton defence at the moment.
It's a matter of time, isn't it?
Surely it is. We know that Urracas have scored 6 in one of their cup games as well this season, so they're known for getting goals. But at the moment, 15 minutes in, still pressing, and Selakovic has got the opening goal with a Robert assist.
Yeah, they've been really good so far, really attacking. Formation's working dividends.
Certainly is. The other team not really getting a look in at the moment anyway. Nearly half an hour into the game, and Alan Shearer makes it 2-0. And Selakovic has got the assist this time.
He's having a blind right there.
Robert smashing one in with a Ronnie Johnson assist. This is going very, very well for them. And Alan Smith on his debut. That's an assist from Shearer.
Well, they're sharing it out between them all now. What a good first half for Urracas.
Very, very solid. Stat-wise, I mean, yeah, you can tell that there's an absolute gulf between the two sides.
Yeah, and even winning 90% of the tackles, you see, as soon as the other team do get the ball, they have it robbed off them, and 13 shots, 11 on target. It's some excellent shooting practice for the strikers.
Certainly is. And the vast majority of the game being played in the opposition's half, over 60% of the possession. Quick check on the goals. I know Robert got one from 20 yards when he scored. So a corner with a header in from Selakovic for the opening goal. Then some in quick succession, really. I mean, Shearer with a volley from a Selakovic headed down to him. So that looks an interesting goal to have had then. But again, it's Robert involved in the build-up again. And this time, swinging the ball over towards Robert, who's unmarked, and a volley from out wide. It sounds like an amazing goal, that one. And then straight after the 4th goal on the board there, it's just, well, Shearer's played a ball out and Smith has just kept going. Looks like he's unchallenged, would you say?
Well, it looks like it. It must have been unchallenged if it was Alan Smith, because I've never seen him dribble past someone in my life. But yeah, it's nice to see people are getting goals and assists. 3 of them there all have a goal and an assist each. And Ronnie Johnson's chipping in from the back as well. And it just shows how one-sided this game's been.
It is looking tremendously solid for them. Don't see any reason not to go to 60 minutes here. So let's get straight on with it. can they replicate the 6 that they got earlier in the season? A lot of their goals came late actually last time, so we will see. Substitution. Right, so we are having a change of system to allow the substitutes to come in. So it looks like with a back 4 to drop, well, what's the best way to do it? To drop another one into defence so Yepes can move over, and we will just move back across there. 3 in midfield and 3 up front. And so we try and sort this one out here. Smith stays where he is and Shearer stays where he is. Brugink is actually in the midfield with Lee Bowyer and Selakovic. Yepes. So that's moving out there. Woodgate is to be removed for Ian Hart. Nope. It says it here. It's Hart for Robert. You see, there's a whole load of things being moved around here. So I'm just trying to make sure that this is all done correctly. So Hart for Robert. We have Woodgate coming off for Dyer. And obviously with that change there, that leaves us with Agahawa being removed for Sigalko. And that would make the team...
It's an interesting switch in formation, isn't it? It's we're very dominant with 3 at the back, and we've gone to 4 at the back with the other team having no opposition. I understand the bombing forward, but it's I mean, it's good chance to give the people a run out, I guess.
That's the plan, I think. It's the Ian Hart debut. So just have a look at that. That's as good as we're going to get on the substitutes here. Just to check, we've still obviously brought on 1 Newcastle player and replaced 2, so still within the rules there for their own self-imposed rules, of course. Continuing the game. Will it really get them back to the first half performance, or will it just be a sort of fizzling out towards the end of the game?
Shearer's put an excellent performance in up front, hasn't he?
There he is with his goal, yeah. 6 out of 6 on target for him. A brilliant performance. Chasing down a 6th goal for the team. But the other side just getting into it that little bit more and just bringing the game to a close at 5-0. Well, very, very solid. Just take a look at the player stats there. Absolutely right that Shearer's got man of the match. Selakovic also playing very well.
Yeah, a lot of them have barely broken a sweat, have they, really? A lot of them in the high 80s or in the 90s. The subs didn't make an awful lot of difference with a 6 and a couple of 7s. Half an hour on the pitch, would be quite disappointed with that. But other than that, everyone's played rather well, really. Brugink with a 7. Johnson with a 7, despite his assist in defence, just shows how little he had to do back there. But great attacking display, particularly in that first half.
Yeah, very, very solid. That first half certainly made all the difference, didn't it? And yeah, I mean, the tackling went up in the second half. It's pretty faultless, isn't it? Really, overall.
Yeah, done exactly what they need to do. Kept a clean sheet, got a few goals, build a bit of confidence for next week.
And a place in the semi-finals to come. So this is obviously not going to be the second match. We're going to Stackington, who, after their abysmal 6-0 capitulation at homes around Hay, have rung the changes and a complete change of formation without Ibrahim Saeed in the team today. What are your thoughts?
Well, complete change of formation, complete change of backroom staff. A lot of the fans are demanding, and manager. But he's made a bold change today to go for this formation. I mean, I like all the players that have come in. It's an adventurous lineup. Ulf Kirsten up top is absolute certainty to get a goal today, I would think.
Yeah,
well,
he certainly does have a good chance of getting a goal, doesn't he? In terms of personnel in the first team, just to have a look through last time round, we've got Njai and Paulo Sergio surviving the cut from last match. So it certainly is a team full of changes, and the change of system. I mean, when Saeed's back, we're probably going to see that run still happening. But surely they just have to stop the rot here. They're up against Deafors, who so far in the cup, 2 non-league sides there, and a victory over Roundhay, but obviously that one not too important so far.
Well, they've scored a few goals, haven't they? And it's interesting that Quim's coming in goal because he's renowned for flapping at crosses, isn't he?
Yeah, it's not the easiest goalkeeper to penetrate, I've heard, though. So
That's right for some.
we shall put into the match. He takes the number 1 shirt for the team. Okay. Surely not a giant killing.
Well, you wouldn't back against it on form.
Well, the other team have certainly put themselves about so far. 10 minutes in, nothing going on, and just the pressure mounting on the side so far. They've barely broken a sweat, but they are under some pressure. They've had a chance against them already. Volodenkov's had a chance. Romoshenko coming forward.
Ulf Kirsten started a touch up front.
No, Volodenkov gets the opening goal. Yeah, Kirsten is doing absolutely nothing. Volodenkov unassisted goal. And a gap with a chance. Kirsten now having an attempt at goal off target, and there he scores for 2-0. There's your prediction correct, and 2 goals for Kirsten.
That's it. He doesn't need to touch the ball other than having a shot. That's what he does.
Lethal, absolutely lethal, and certainly worth considering in the league, maybe. But at half time, 3-0. I mean, it started off poorly and it's ended up reasonable.
Yeah, I think it was just a lack of confidence and probably the change of system, the change of personnel that's had a slow start. But you started to get shots on target. Few 8s, couple of 9s. You must be pleased with your first half there.
Yeah, it's a change, isn't it? Seeing the 3 on the board there and none in the other column. But yeah, they have conceded a chance. It's been dealt with though. It's not been a Costanzo or Barthez error conceding anything. So yeah, it's been fine, hasn't it? And a lot of the game being played in the other end. 71% of the possession. The goals being scored. We never checked the final goal from the game last time, did we? So Berger's made a challenge on Silvestre, and it's a loose ball shot in by Volodenkov for the opener. And then a Romoshenko ball into Kirsten for the goal there, the goalkeeper at fault. And another one from Romoshenko in towards Kirsten as well. So yeah, very solid. 2 assists for Romoshenko, playing in that defensive midfield position.
Yeah, the deadly duo.
The team will continue to 60 minutes. But they haven't really come out for the second half just yet. Nothing going on whatsoever. And Ulf Kirsten nearly getting himself a hat-trick in the end. Right, so we have a quick look at substitutes. And yeah, we will see Song being withdrawn here. Just to check Kirsten as well. Yeah, I mean, the change-wise is going to happen attacking. So we're going to see the introduction of Tommy Mutton coming on for Song. And just to, I don't know, I think I'll just stick with the 1 substitute. And just bring Mutton on and Sergio to play behind. Now a front 2.
That's it, going for goals.
Here we go. Very little happening. I mean, Berger's had a chance for Deafors there as well. So Kirsten looking for a hat-trick surely at this rate. He's starting to get some chances in again, and the game's gone a little bit quiet for the last 10 minutes here. Approaching the end, the team is certainly quieting down. Paulo Sergio with a chance. Mutton involved for the first time in the game pretty much. And a gap just wide. Kirsten with a chance again. And it's going to be, yet again, I believe that's the 3rd consecutive cup game getting into the semi-finals with 3-0 wins.
Yeah, you've just shut up shop really for the second half with a 3-0. Team's not really had a dominant display second half, but you've done what you needed to do.
No, it's certainly let Deafors come back into it, haven't they, with giving up over 10% possession in the second half. Okay, compared to the first half, obviously. Volodenkov with a goal and some chances. He'll be, he's fairly impressive with that one. Kirsten getting 2 goals, Romoshenko 2 assists, and apart from that, a clean sheet is handy. It might give some confidence and maybe some things to think about in the starting lineup for the weekend. Into the final game of the day, and it's the Dynamo 76ers who last time out took a very, very late goal, Cannavaro's 89th minute winner, to break the hearts of the Danglies. They've gone for a change of system this time around. They've gone for 4 at the back.
Yeah, they must have been disappointed with the performance at the weekend. It's not the greatest results against
No, it's not the greatest result, is it, so far?
Of the Danglies, but now today.
Yeah, the sound just cut out then, so I spoke over the top of you just briefly. The change. I mean, we've still got the backwards run from Milevski, but of course this is a non-league side they're playing against. It's a highly fancied Radaby side, isn't it? So yeah, the 2 Belarusians up the top and a solid team with a few changes. Do you fancy them against Radaby?
I think they'll give him a good go. I like the look of that midfield, actually. I like Mark Kerr in centre mid. He always turns up to the big games. Hopefully that's not a cursing him for tonight. But I think it looks like an interesting formation. And then, I mean, there's a home team. They've got to give it a go, haven't they?
Oh, absolutely. It's certainly going to be something to look forward to this match, isn't it? Their previous cup games, they have won 5-0 against Ljungby and 5-0 against Eliana. They were the very first team to play a game, weren't they, 76ers, back in the opening night of this competition. So they're up against Radaby, who obviously last game didn't manage a single shot on target and relied on an own goal in a 2-1 defeat. Very much not what you'd expect from this team.
No, they'll be disappointed with the result and the performance. But straight back on, trying to get on with that. I mean, that's an attacking lineup. Zanoni's coming to that defensive midfield zone to shake things up a little bit. David Collins in the best of health, but he's always a threat, isn't he? Looking at that attacking midfield 3, Christian Vieri up front behind him will have plenty of chances supplied for him.
Yeah, you'd imagine so with those up there. And great to see Lucas Radaby called back into the team again today. Bearing in mind the team is his. Steve Wright's just borrowing them, I believe.
Well, there you go. That's can't beat Lucas Radaby.
Well, you heard it here first. We'll see if that happens with 76ers failing to score. Squad number wise, I know he takes number 24. And we'll go into the game. Bengt Green refereeing the game. And straight away, 76ers on the attack with a couple of chances there. Sigalko definitely had a chance, and Mike Duff has scored for 76ers 1-0. David Collins has hit the bar for the opposition coming back into it. Collins again with a chance. He's the most lively player they've got so far. And Collins yet again involved, brought down by Taribo West. Sigalko coming forward for 76ers, and it's back to the Whites again with Collins, who again has a chance. He's highly involved. There's no wonder he's a bit tired from last time up. Is that Nicky Franco hitting the bar for 76ers as well?
It's been a real positive response from Radaby to the early goal, but it's evening up again a bit now.
And Radaby receives a card for his own team. A penalty, and Marquinhos makes it 2-0. Vieri's had a chance. I mean, they've been battered generally, but somehow a 2-0 up. It's fantastic performance from 76ers so far. Defensively, Collins yet again with a chance for Radaby, and Nicky Forenko with one as well. And we approach half time, and they still are knocking on the door, but just cannot get through. And it was 3-0 for a second, as Sigalko had one disallowed. David Collins must have hit everything off target to be on a 5 so far.
Yeah, it's disappointing showing so far from Collins, and my words about Radaby before the game certainly come back to haunt me with the yellow card and a 6 he's got so far. But Radaby had a positive response to that early goal. 76ers have won the last 20 minutes of the half as well.
Yeah, I mean, when you saw so many white chances and thinking it was like, where's all these red 6 shots, 5 on target come from? It surprised me a little bit.
Yeah, the really being clinical in front of goal. Radaby seemed to have, like you say, a lot of the attacking chances, but 3 out of 8 on target is not good enough at this level.
No, it sort of adds to the performance of last time out, doesn't it? And they'll be certainly hoping for an improvement in the second half and in their next league game. So Nesta 1-2 with Taribo West, and yeah, we've got Nicky Forenko has basically put it on a plate for Mike Duff to head in for the opening goal. And the penalty, if we go to the penalty, it's been Nikiforenko running into Radaby. Marquinhos gathers it and knocked to the floor. Nikiforenko by Paolo Maldini. Marquinhos making it 2-0. 76ers plan subs for 60 minutes, and Radaby we know don't make substitutes as we go, so we'll head into the second half. And it's been a quiet start. Sigalko's managed to put one wide there. And looking into things with the few minutes of substitutions, still very little going on in the second half compared to the first. Yeah, 76ers planning substitutes. So Del Piero for either Sigalko or Nikiforenko if they haven't scored. And they haven't scored. So looking, they're both on 7s, and the least fit one of the two is Sigalko. So Del Piero will come on. And it says here, Van Bommel for Kerr. That's the substitutes. And there we go. So they'll head on, and Radaby we know are not making any substitutions as we head on to the rest of the game. And Riquelme is trying to come back in for Radaby with another shot off target for the side. They need some practice on their shooting, as Marquinhos has pretty much killed the game off now. 3-0 with just a few minutes to go.
Surely all over.
It does appear so, doesn't it? And now right near the end of the game, they just do with a shot on target for a bit of a confidence boost, but it's not looking like it's going to happen. And a late chance, but nothing coming from that. And 76ers progress 3-0 into the next round. Yeah, lots of shots and just not managed to convert those at all. Whereas 76ers very, very lethal with their shooting.
Yeah, and I think it's reflected by David Collins' rating. It sums up Radaby's performance today. He's ended up with a 4, David Collins, and 5 out of 12 is 76ers with 3 out of 9. It just shows you, doesn't it, what the benefits of some good attacking play result in. Radaby, a real strong team, as we all know, but 76ers have outperformed them today.
Yeah, it's going to be put down as a bad week. The ball not even in play for an hour during the game. Let's have a look at the final goal, which was late on, and West free kick. Del Piero heads it down and unmarked in there. Let's just check the players. Realise we didn't check the players at half time in any way, did we, with this? But let's have a look at how they performed over the course of the game. Kaladze done well. I mean, Duff's won a lot of headers, all his tackles. Yeah, he's been a deserved top player, but not man of the match as Milevski's taken it.
Yeah, Milevski looked to have played really well. 6 out of 7 tackles, 4 out of 5 headers. But backwards running in defensive midfield, he's put in an excellent performance, mopping everything up. Taribo West with 7 out of 9 tackles as well. Seems to have had a real strong performance at the back. Marquinhos obviously with his 2 goals. Nikiforenko with 2 assists. So can't ask for any more as well from Del Piero coming off the bench grabbing an assist too.
Yeah, they are a team that are getting better as they go along. I mean, obviously, the result in midweek at the weekend wasn't fantastic for them, but this is showing just what they're capable of. David Collins, 7 shots, 2 on target, and a 4.
Yeah, he's not going to be pleased with himself today, but he'll be back. He'll get plenty of goals through the season, one would think. It's just one of them bad performances, and in a cup, if you have a bad performance, you're out, aren't you? Vieri with an 8, he's shone quite brightly there compared to everyone else on the team, so he can't be too dissatisfied with his performance.
Yeah, he's not started the league game yet, so maybe it's something to consider for Steve, especially that Collins will be likely to miss the next league game, maybe for fitness reasons. We shall see. Yeah, let down. I don't think there were 2 let down in defence. I mean, Radaby's rating is quite low, but he has won some tackles. Milevski's performed well for both teams really, and yeah, absolutely right about Vieri. So let's see who won the other game between Bunkerflow and Sirius. It was a penalty shootout victory for Sirius, who go into the semi-finals, and it was an extra time game. This one. Looking into that, of course it was if it was a penalty shootout. Bunkerflow equalising 13 minutes in, and we had both goals. injuries aplenty, and a penalty shootout with Fredrickson missing and Vickman scoring. So Sirius must be up for the challenge in the semi-finals. Could have made a joke, but nah. Who do you fancy to win this?
Well, it's I mean, it's 76ers to lose, isn't it? After beating Rugby, I suppose anyone who beats off another team in the top league have to be favourites. But Arrakis were very dominant, certainly for that first 60 minutes today. Stackington, you can't fancy them after the run in the league, but they did what they had to do today. So all the teams that are going through from the Premier Division, they're all playing really well for today. So cup competition, isn't it? Anyone can beat anyone on the day.
Yeah, I mean, the Rackers have certainly set themselves up as a good cup team so far. I mean, if 76ers and Rackers avoid each other in the draw, I mean, you can imagine that being a final. I'm not trying to write my own side off at all, but yeah, you're absolutely right that the performances have not been good enough, and to just win 3-0, 3-0, 3-0, it's not fantastic against non-league sides. Teams will be hoping to get serious in that semi-final. But yeah, looking forward to the midweek rounds this week. We've got the Division 2 on Tuesday night. Division 1 will go on Friday again. So just one midweek round this time. Thank you very much, Mr. Fortuna.
Thank you.
And we'll see you again soon. Good night.